Dino Adventureland in lovely Lenox, Alabama. It is January the 22nd, 2026. Tonight, open mic. Call in if you disagree or want to discuss something on a creation evolution topic. I don't want to talk about flat earthers. I'll talk about that in a minute. We're on a bunch of different channels. Facebook, all the numbers keep growing. Sign up for all of them. Tell your friends about us. We just want to get the gospel out. Rumble, let's see, X. I took the Twitter off. Is that okay?
That's fine.
Okay.
They know.
They know. I don't know, but okay. KenHovind.tv, our own app. Let's see, Instagram, on TikTok. Sign up for all of them. They're all free, okay? It costs us, what, $6,000 a year to have our own KenHovind.tv? So if you want to help with that, please do. Let's see. Okay, here we go. Did I move? I did. I moved it. 22nd. Okay, coming up in a few months is our 10-year anniversary of having the property here in Lenox, Alabama. I was in Pensacola 27 years before that. But come join us. Help us finish the ark in time. And next Monday, the Aaron Spencer trial in Lone Oak, Arkansas. I went to this rally today up in Montgomery, where they had a lot of politicians and wannabe politicians there about some of the things happening in Alabama. Not much. I don't get a whole lot involved in politics, but I said, look, you come use my platform, come speak here. The thing that men love darkness rather than light because their deeds are evil. People doing evil things don't like to be exposed. Well, I am not afraid to expose them and let them run and hide. Okay. So there's some evil stuff going on, brother. I can't believe it. With DHR, take away children and put them out in pedophile rings. Yeah, in Alabama, there are judges, there are congressmen, there are senators involved in this stuff. Will be shot, sweetly in Christian love. Well, this guy shot and killed the guy molesting his 14-year-old daughter, and they want to give him prison time for it. You need to give him a medal. He's running for sheriff in Lone Oak County. Anyway, we'll go up there and spend a couple hours and do a show from there. Lone Oak, Arkansas, right in the middle, right there. Come join us. Come help us at Dinosaur Adventureland in Lenox, Alabama, right off I-65, a couple miles. Come see 70 miles north of Pensacola. If you want to ask me questions, best way is to send them in to the show tonight or any night, okay? Monday through Friday. We always take Q&A afterwards. Send them. How do they actually send it? Is there a link there, Joseph? They just click it?
Yeah.
Okay, just click the link.
Yeah, if they want to ask a question, tag me. If they want to join the studio, click the link.
If you want to join the studio, click the link. If you want a question, just tag Joseph, okay? If you want me to get it. Another way, come here and spend a few days at Dinosaur Adventureland. There's the crew, some of them eating. They seem to do a lot of that around here. What's our grocery bill now, Joy? Do you know how much we spend every month? 3,000 meals a month. Yeah. Come on down. Okay. Help us stay open for free. Join our 777 club. Say, I like what you're doing. I'm going to help you keep going. Okay. Become a member. I don't check on it. Don't know who's in it. Don't want to know. Go to drdino.com. Say, I'm going to help support you guys if you can. I got to change it again, Joseph. 9 point. Never mind. Okay. We have my video series. That's the best seller by far. 18 hours, $50. You can return it when you're done. Get your money back. Even copy it all you want. Just don't sell it. It's my intellectual property. Get our series on what on earth is about to happen. It's coming like a freight train. Okay, last night, I made some comments about why I'm not a Seventh-day Adventist. I got loads of texts, comments, calls, and emails wanting to debate. They disagree. Okay. There's a great book dealing with that. Let's see, do I have it here? Why I'm not. Look at that. First one I touch. Why I'm not Seventh-day Adventist. It's let's see, how many pages? 35 pages by Peter Ruckman.
I don't have it in the store, but we got it all over.
Don't have it. You don't have it a QR code?
I don't have the code. It's online.
Okay. It's on our Dr. Dino website. So I'm going to give you the Hovind theory of why these people call, why they want to argue about this. I think you'll find this backwards to what most people think. It says clearly in the book of Nehemiah, God came down on Mount Sinai and made known unto them the Sabbath. Nobody knew about the Sabbath for 2,500 years. There's no record of anybody keeping it or even knowing it existed. God rested the seventh day because he was done. It wasn't a day of worship. He's done. Take a break, okay? So God rested the seventh day. The first mention is 2,500 years later when Moses God made it known to Moses on Mount Sinai. Now, the Gentiles will keep the Sabbath with the Jews during the 1,000-year millennium. No question. I'm looking forward to taking a break, okay? It says, God gave you the Sabbath. Abide every man in his place. Let no man go out of his place. You can't go out of your house. Isn't that what it says pretty clearly? Exodus, this is part of the law, you know. Exodus 16. Let's see. Remember the Sabbath, thou shalt not do any work, thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, people that work for you. You can't make anybody work, which means you can't use any utilities. because you're making somebody downtown work, electric company, power company, or gas company, or water company. Okay. Don't kindle a fire. Well, then you can't cook, can't use hot water, turn off your water heater. Okay. Turn off your furnace, and you can't start your car. Going to kindle a cylinder, kindle a fire in every cylinder. He said the Sabbath was for the children of Israel. I gave them my Sabbath to be a sign between me. It's like circumcision was a sign for the Jews, not for the whole world, just for the Jews, to show they separate for the Lord. Okay. It's for the children of Israel. It says in Exodus 31, the children of Israel shall keep the Sabbath. It's between me and the children of Israel forever. Read it, Exodus 31. I didn't write it. I'm just telling you what it says, okay? So SDA, Seventh-day Adventist Church, was officially formed in 1863 in Battle Creek, Michigan. This date marks the formal incorporation of their denomination when representatives from various congregations convened to establish a general conference at the governing body. The church emerged from the Millerite movement of the 1830s. Based on the prophecy, William Miller predicted the Lord's coming in 1844. When he didn't come, they went up and actually stood out waiting for him to come, and he didn't come. It's called the Great Disappointment. That's what started the Seventh-day Adventist Church. Okay. Look, I don't want to fight these guys. I think they love the Lord. I think they're just mistaken on this topic, at least, okay? The name was formally adopted in 1860, reflecting the two core beliefs, the Sabbath and the advent or the return of Christ. I believe Christ is returning. I got a chart behind me. I wrote a book on it, did a video series on it. I believe he's coming, but after the tribulation, okay? By 1963, the movement had grown to 3,500 members, okay? So they met together December 31st and had, December 31st of a couple of years ago, they had a total of 22 million members worldwide. That's about 1/4% of the world's population, 1/4%. So, Hovind theory. The Sabbath wasn't practiced or even known for 2,500 years. We don't know that our calendar is right. Maybe Tuesday is the original Sabbath. How would you know that? How could you possibly know? Nobody knew when it was for 2,500 years, okay? Let's see. It's a sign for the Jews, okay? The Sabbath was a day of rest, not a day to go to church. It says stay home. No one I know, I've never met anybody who keeps the Sabbath like it's commanded in Scripture. No fires, no utilities. They don't do that, okay? Some people think they're keeping the Sabbath by keeping a few of the commandments, and they often get a holier than thou attitude because of it. I keep the Sabbath and you don't. They jump ahead of the crowd. It's a shortcut to spirituality. Just like people who speak in tongues. They'll go to church, run around the pew, and run around the church, jibber jabber, and think, wow, I'm better than all the rest of these Christians in the world that don't do this. It's the same thing with the Sabbath keepers. It's an ego thing, in my humble opinion. Jesus got angry at the hypocrites who looked down on others who didn't keep their man-made rules. Here we go. Matthew 23. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites. You devour widows' houses and for a pretense make long prayer. Therefore you shall receive the greater condemnation. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites. Jesus wasn't very nice to these people, was he, Joseph? No, okay. For you compass sea and land to make one proselyte, and when he's made, you make him twofold more a child of hell than yourselves. Some people, some religions, Seventh-day Adventists included, they're more concerned about converting people to their church than getting the lost saved. They're taking other church members to convert them over. That's what Jesus is talking about, the Pharisees here. Compass land and sea to go convert somebody to your belief. Woe unto you, ye blind guides, which say, whosoever shall swear by the temple, it's nothing. Whosoever shall swear by the gold of the temple, he's a debtor. Pick at straws. Romans 12. For I say through the grace given unto me, let every man that is among you not to think of himself more highly than he ought to think. Don't think you're a better Christian because you keep the Sabbath. First of all, you don't keep it. Nobody does. Okay? And you can try. Good luck. Okay? But if you did, then would you think, oh, I'm better than everybody else? You're going to fall right into the trap, the ego trap here. Okay? Let's see. If we have many members. 1 Corinthians chapter 4. And these things, brethren, I have in figure transferred to myself and to Apollos for your sakes, that ye might learn in us not to think of men above that which is written. Don't think you're spiritual because you do A, B, C, okay? No one be puffed up one against another, okay? For Philippians chapter 3. For we are the circumcision which worship God in spirit and rejoice in Christ Jesus and have no confidence in the flesh. Though I might have confidence in the flesh, if any other man thinketh he hath whereof he might trust in the flesh, I more. This is Paul writing to the Philippians. Circumcised the 8th day of the stock of Israel, of the tribe of Benjamin, a Hebrew of the Hebrews, as touching the law, a Pharisee. Concerning zeal, I persecuted the church. Touching the righteousness which is of the law, blameless. But these things were gained, which were gained to me, I counted loss. It doesn't matter. Throw it away. Doesn't matter. In Galatians, but neither Titus, who was with me, being a Greek, was compelled to be circumcised, that because of the false brethren unaware brought in to spy out our liberty. Down to verse 6. But of these who seem to be somewhat, whatsoever they were, it maketh no matter to me. God accepteth no man's person. But they who seemed to be somewhat in conference added nothing to me. I've just seen in my 57 years of experience as a Christian, some people, especially the Pentecostals and Seventh-day Adventists, I'll name those two, they get this attitude, I'm spiritual, you're not. Even though they've only been saved for 3 weeks and they've never read the Bible at one time and never led a soul to Christ, they're here and you're down here because you don't, either jibber jabber or keep the Sabbath. So I'm sorry, I don't want to fight you guys. God has called me to fight the battle against stupid evolution religion. I will not be doing any debates on Sabbath or flat earth or anything other than evolution in the foreseeable future. Guy called me today while I'm driving. I very rarely hang up on people. Here I am driving up to Montgomery, wanted to argue about the canopy theory. I said, well, what do you believe? He said, I don't believe there was a canopy. I said, okay, make a YouTube channel and teach whatever you want. No, I want to debate you on it. Look, I don't have time. Okay, I'm busy. He went on and on for 5. He wouldn't shut up. I said, listen to me. I'm going to a meeting. I got 40 people who want me to call. I got a whole long list in front of me of people I got to call. I'm sorry, I don't want to debate you on this. I believe it. If you don't believe it, then great. He said, well, I don't believe there was a cat. I said, listen, goodbye, click. The only language some people speak, I guess. And I hate to do that. Okay. These Sabbath keepers are not the enemy. I don't fight them. I just state my case. I've made my position clear. If you disagree, start a YouTube channel, start a museum, do whatever you want. We've had some people come here and work at the ministry here and help us out. They go start their own ministry. Great. That try to keep the Sabbath. I know they don't. You can't. Anyway, okay, God claims he created it. Let's see, I wanted to get to, no, right here. Interesting, right here.
France, 1788. Workers are cutting limestone. 300 feet deep, they hit a pocket of sand. Inside, they found tools, hammers, picks, but the wood handles had turned into agate, gemstones.
The wooden handles from the 1700s that they found, when they found it, 1700s, had turned to agate, a gemstone. Wait a minute. And it's in limestone, they say, is millions of years old. Oh, so in the mind of the evolutionists, when they find this kind of stuff, all they can think of is there must have been a civilization 300 million years ago. They will not even consider their sacred, stupid geologic column as being wrong. That's their Bible. It can't be wrong. They're not allowed to consider that, or they get kicked out of their church, the evolution religion. There's another one. See, where's this other one here? I think it's this one. Yeah. These guys broke open an agate. I mean,
1961.
Geode.
3 friends found a geode. They thought it was full of crystals, but when they cut it open, their saw blade broke. Inside was porcelain and a magnetic metal core. X-rays revealed the truth. It was a 1920s Champion spark plug. But
a 1920s Champion spark plug in a geode. That proves somebody had a time travel machine and they went way back millions of years and planted that spark plug. How can you evolutionists not see it? You're willingly ignorant. There is no geologic column. Think about it. How can the top layer of dirt, how can this dirt be a different age than this dirt? How? Where is it coming from? Are these layers coming from outer space? There is no geologic column. Whole thing was made up in 1830. It doesn't exist, except in the textbook. Where did it come from? Every speck of dirt in the world's the same age. Whether 6,000 or 6 trillion, that's a different argument, but it's all the same age. They'll say, well, that's the age when it was laid over on top. Oh, then if I shuffle a deck of cards, the top card's younger, by your logic. It is just, Joseph, is there some other way I can explain it where they'll get it? The polystrata trees, petrified, standing up, running through all the layers. I'm sorry, I know that's your Bible, and I know you're going to defend it to the death. You think you're defending your religion, and you are, but it's a religion. It's not science. There is no geologic column. Disagree? Call in. Open mic tonight. Okay? Okay. I just want to show those two clips real quick.
You want questions?
Sure. Questions or comments or people call in? Let's see. We got Davey. What are your thoughts on experiences people have with ghosts or demons? Does the Bible say what they could be like, fallen angels or the devil himself? Brother, I don't know. Several times in my 57 years of being a Christian, I've gone off on a rabbit trail trying to study that. And I said, I don't know. I think there are certainly demons are mentioned all through Scripture. I think there are angels mentioned all. One guy told me his wife was an angel. She was always up in the air harping about something. I'm not sure what he meant by that. Anyway, so I don't have an answer to that, brother. You do the research and do a show on it. I'd like to watch that. Matt, doesn't Genesis 2 show when God instituted the Sabbath? Oh, show me specifically in there. God rested the seventh day. He never told Adam to. He never told everybody to. And he certainly never told him to go to church and worship on Saturday. If anything, it's a day of rest. Okay, stay home and rest. And then God gave him, not only that, see, do the Sabbath keepers do the real, because they're supposed to do 1 day a week and then 1 year out of every 7 years. You're supposed to work 6 years and rest a whole year. Do you do that? Read the rules on it. I don't know anybody does that. Sounds good though. I'm tired, man. Okay. Link. You condemn Catholics. God does the condemning. I don't have to condemn anybody. All I do is I say, what does any denomination believe compared to what does this book say? That's all I'm concerned about. If they teach something that's like they teach Mary was a virgin, I agree. That's what this book teaches. I can agree with the Catholics on that. But then they teach she's a perpetual virgin. Well, it mentions 4 other brothers Jesus had, and it says sisters, plural. If Mary's the perpetual virgin, then Joseph gets the prize. Right? No, so I agree with them on some of their doctrines. I think they're heresy, but I don't have the authority to condemn anybody. I teach. Here's what the Bible says. Here's what they teach. I think they differ. Okay. Stallion. Let's see. So you're saying the 10 Commandments are no longer available? No, I got them right here in my hand. In my dilapidated edition of the Bible. No, the 10 Commandments were given as like a mirror. When you look in the mirror, you'll notice the mirror does not comb your hair. The mirror tells you you need to comb your hair, right? The mirror does not wash your face. It tells you you need to wash your face. So when you look at the commandments, you realize, wow, I'm a sinner. I better fall on God's mercy. So no, the commandments clearly show how God thinks about things, and they're all correct. God thinks you should not steal. God thinks you should not lie. God thinks, you read the 10 Commandments. But no, I'm not saying that, the commandments are great. Every nation in the world should model their laws after God's law. Instead of putting people in jail, we should do what the Bible says and fine them, beat them, or kill them. For certain crimes, you just got to execute them for the good of society. Yeah, it's good for society. Certain crimes, why are you going to lock them up 20 years? Then what? Or life in prison without the possibility of parole? Who's paying for that? People that did not do any crimes are now paying for that. Read my book, The Kennel. Okay, when I become president, I'm closing down the whole system. Judges, congressmen right now they're allowed to own stock in the system, the prison system. The longer they lock you up, the more money they make on their investment. Check it out. Read my book, The Kennel. So no, what's your thoughts on the Trinity? Rachel, the Bible clearly teaches Father, Son, Holy Spirit, and these 3 are one. Do I understand it? No, I've tried. I don't think my little brain can hold the infinite God, but I'll show you a couple of verses that just clearly teach that. If I can get to part 7 here. Seminar part 7, my question answer in my video series here with my mouse. There we go. What happened?
Your mouse was over here.
Oh, I got it. I found it. Oh, okay. Seminar part 7, I think I found it. I got too many things going on. You get that same problem, don't you, Joseph? Yeah, okay. Let's see, we got it, okay. What are we talking about? Oh, Trinity. Okay. In my section on why I believe you should use the King James only, the rest of them got some bad mistakes. I show the question about the Trinity, for example, how they differ in the different Bible versions here. Let me find that slide number. We'll compare 1 John chapter 5. Where is it here? Well, I thought it was in that one. 1 John 5:7. I just had it the other day. I did. Let's see. 1 John 5:7 in the King James says, there are three that bear witness in heaven, the Father, the Word, the Holy Spirit, and these three are one. All the new other versions have taken out the last half of that verse. Jesus allowed himself to be worshiped because he was God. Several times he said, like Moses, Moses said, God, what's your name? What do I tell Pharaoh? You tell him, I am sent you. That was God's name in the Old Testament, I am. Jesus said, he called himself the I am, the light. I am the way. I am the truth. Yeah. There's lots of books and messages on that on the internet. Jesus was God in the flesh. Do I understand all that? The God that I worship can do whatever he wants. So I don't have a problem with that. Okay? Crybaby. Get my headphones on or? Yeah. Okay. Let me guess. Is he going? Are you going to announce your conversion yet?
No, Kent. If anything, I'm probably more of an atheist than I've ever. I know. How are you doing? How are you doing?
Underpaid, way behind. Never complain. Yeah, I'm overworked and underpaid, but I never complain about it.
Good. I wanted to talk to you. Do you remember in 2024, there was the Mokele Mbembe expedition by Nate Richardson and a couple of his friends? A lot of claims were made after that there were, thank you, Ken. A lot of claims were made that they went there and they interviewed a bunch of people who had seen the creature. They even ran into the guy out in the middle of nowhere who the National Geographic article had mentioned. So have you seen anything about that expedition yet? Any photos or video?
Not. Joseph, who were the guys that went over there last year? And
that was Nate Richardson.
That was Nate. I have not. I do know this. That swamp is bigger than Alabama. That one swamp, the Lickawalla Swamp, it is 80% unexplored, and the Congo government will not let you go in there to many places because they know you're going to call for a rescue. It's going to cost them a bunch of money to go rescue people out of there. Like people don't go to Antarctica for the same reason. So, no, I've not seen.
Do you think there's a creature out there?
I think there is, certainly. Do you think it's impossible for there to be one?
Well, there would need to be like a population of them, which would make them more easily spotted. And
not necessarily.
They would have had to survive. They would have had to have survived 65 million years as a viable population.
There you go. There's your problem.
I'm going to tell you how I understand things. But why wouldn't we have heard anything about that expedition? Why wouldn't they have released anything about it?
I don't know. Did you hear I stubbed my toe last week?
Well, I mean, you did host them on your show at least 2 or 3 times.
So therefore, it's my responsibility to follow up on all
that? It's not your responsibility, but I know that, I mean, you guys were asking for donations for this expedition, and you think that they would be responsible to come back and at least tell what they found, right?
Okay. Hang on, Joseph.
Yeah, we've had them back twice, actually.
We've had them back twice.
Yeah, and then one of them came here for boot camp, actually. He didn't speak, but he was here during boot camp.
Yeah, so if they went there and didn't see one, does that prove it doesn't exist?
No, but okay, I just want to see their trip and see who they interviewed and that kind of thing, because I'm interested. Okay.
Do you have an email for them, Joseph? Do they have a website?
I think I did even try to contact them at one point after they were on your show, but I never received a response. But I can try again. It's just, to me, it's a little strange that they would raise thousands of dollars and not provide something to the people that donated to their expedition. That's all.
That's a great point. I think the people who want to raise billions of dollars to teach evolution should be providing some evidence for it.
Well, now you're getting it.
No,
Hey, can I?
that? Okay.
Can I mention one more thing that you had a slide of just today was the COSO artifact, Kent? Do you know the spark plug that's
right.
Encased? Right. I don't believe that photo was of the COSO artifact. I think they showed that inside a geode, but really the spark plug, the 1920 spark plug, was found inside a concretion, which can be pretty quickly formed in certain environments.
Sure, I understand. Yeah, I had on my desk. You took them to the science center. I had 2 spark plugs here. The guy found in. He just sent them to me last week. I forget from where. Yeah, it's happened quite often. So if Nate goes back to the Congo and catches Mokele Mbembe and brings him and puts him at Dinosaur Adventureland,
well, I wouldn't want to take him out of his home.
Oh, it's okay. No, if they catch one and bring it here and you come and see it, what are you going to say about it? That one survived for 70 million years?
Yeah, that there was a viable population. That there was a viable population.
You're not.
There are species discovered. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Ken.
Okay. Well, they found coelacanth after they said it had been dead for 70 million years. They found a population of those in the Indian Ocean. And guess what? They're saying, wow, they survived for 70 million. They won't give up on the theory.
They hadn't discovered it up till then. So, of course, they hadn't. So there were a viable population of coelacanths for that long of a time.
No, not for that long of a time. There was a viable population of coelacanths. And I think there's a viable population of Mokele Mbembe. The swamp is 80% unexplored, as bigger than Alabama. That's a big swamp.
Okay, but you also believe in the Loch Ness Monster, which is in a completely different environment. And, not only would you need a population of those animals, but they're reptiles, right? So they would have to come up for air every whatever amount of time per day.
I should watch my video number 3. 11,000 people have sworn that they saw the Loch Ness Monster. Now, maybe they were drunk or maybe they saw a floating log. But when 11,000 people claim something, at least we're looking at their claim. I think.
Yeah, I think their claim has been looked at. Yeah.
Okay. Well, in your mind,
their claim has been looked at.
Dinosaur, you got a worldview that you will not change. Dinosaurs lived millions of years ago.
I just don't see the evidence for it apart from birds.
If you saw the evidence, if somebody caught one and brought it back alive, and you could go pet it and ride it around Dinosaur Adventureland, you still would cling to your theory. I promise you would.
What theory would I cling to?
That you believe they lived millions of years ago, and one just happened to survive. Population survived.
Well, not just one, a population of them would have.
Right, that's what I said.
And it would have been studied by science if that was the case, and there was a population of plesiosaurs in the Congo. They would be studied by science, and it would be well understood how they survived.
So Loch Ness is 900 feet deep. Okay. It's a huge lake. Okay. And there are underwater caves into the mountains on both sides of Loch Ness. Maybe they go up under and come in an air pocket. Where
I don't know that those have been well documented, those caves. And, I'd like to see a map, because those would be able to be mapped by geophysical techniques, I would imagine.
They mapped every square inch of the world, no question about that.
Well, I mean, we know that there's no salt water, I believe, from the ocean that's getting into the lake. So it is a landlocked lake.
Right. I agree with that. As far as I know, I'm not aware of any salt. I agree.
Well, thank you, Kent. Go ahead. Yeah, thank you and I'm glad you're doing well. And
I just got phlegm on the uvula. I would suggest, though, that you give up on that theory before you die.
Okay. I'll think about it. Thank you, Kent. Good discussion.
You're welcome. Okay. Who else we got there, Joseph? Let's see. Enough, Eric. Man, this guy, Creationist Crybaby, knows everything. That's incredible. He really, he knows where every Loch Ness Monster is hiding, or he knows they don't exist. How do you prove the non-existence of anything? Wouldn't you have to be like everywhere at the same time? How do you prove the non-existence of anything? Think about it. Okay, go ahead.
Your favorite Bible study or study Bible?
My favorite study Bible?
Yeah.
Well, the Henry Morris Defender Study Bible is the one I've worn out 5 or 6 of those. We sell it in a bookstore. It's excellent. Henry Morris died years ago, founded the Institute for Creation Research in Dallas, Texas. He and Dwayne Gish. Henry was a great Bible scholar. I disagree with him on a few theological things, okay? But his study notes in the King James Bible are really excellent. Henry Morris Defender Study Bible. The best one I know of, okay? Yep, my headphones.
Also, John wanted me to ask you a question, or Johnny, about, have you thought about writing the Department of Religion about how they're investigating people who have experienced discrimination or abuse of religious beliefs? Have you thought about
No,
that?
I haven't. I've thought about it. I believe some of the political activists need to do this kind of stuff. I think we need to have lots of people to just simply object to religion being taught in the schools, as evolution is nothing but a religion. See, in many people's minds, they think, well, evolution is part of science, so that's protected. We get to teach that in schools, but no other religions. They want their religion only taught. And when I mention it's a religion, they get upset. But it isn't. You're welcome to believe it. I don't care what you believe, but don't call it science. Nobody's seen life start from non-living material. I was in a debate one time, and one atheist said, well, what are you going to say if scientists make life in the laboratory? I'm going to say it proves it took intelligence to make life. That's what I'm going to say. Vernum, sir, can I have one of your book with your signature to show all my children the truth? Sure. If you order any books from our ministry, ask them to, I do this all the time. I go down there and sign copies of the book for people. I don't want to do it for everybody all the time, but yes, I will do that for you. All you got to do is ask when you order the book, tell Joy or Bobby, have Brother Hovind sign it. Be glad to.
Dino wants to know, can you help me understand Judges 19?
Can I help you understand Judges 19, the whole chapter? If I can keep my Bible together, I can get my other one out here. Joshua, Judges chapter 19. I would suggest you go to, again, Matthew Henry commentary is fabulous on all these, good study Bible. Judges 19, anything particular in there? There's 30 verses. Let's see. Oh, that is a strange story, isn't it? Yeah, Judges 19. Micah, oh, no, it's wrong. 2 pages there. Come on. Came to pass in these days when there was no king in Israel, there was a certain Levite, with the concubine. I have not gone through the book of Leviticus or the book of Judges. I went through Joshua, didn't I, for the Bible study? I've done quite a few books of the Bible, verse by verse. But no, I don't want to spend my time on the whole 30 verses of that chapter tonight. Give me a specific question, and I'll narrow it down to a question that I can answer. 400 in all chats. Oh, yeah? I'm very interested in helping out with landscaping or painting up. Well, come on. What are you doing? Tebow.
Is there going to be any work this weekend, Doc?
Is there ever not any work? Yeah, please come, okay? Now, I can promise you, many people claim they can paint, and they cannot. They paint for an hour, and there's 7 hours of cleanup after they're done. Or you got to paint everything around what they painted because they slopped it on everything around it, okay? So if you really are a painter, come on down. That means mask things off, lay down cardboard, and then paint. I could show you many examples around here. And by the way, everybody who claims there's a carpenter isn't either. Have you noticed that around here? And Ken, everybody who claims there's a mechanic, they're not a mechanic, some of them, are they? But yeah, this whole place has been built by volunteers and donations. Come on down. Dophomaha. Did I pronounce that right?
The way I do it.
Okay. Are there real skulls that have been found that show a progression of human change? No skull would count for that at all. You could line up living people, well, after they die, take the skulls of people that are alive today and get a series of progressions from small skull, microcephaly, on up to gigantic. Some people have a sloped forehead. Some people have larger eyebrow ridge. You could do that with people today, alive. So no, there's no evidence that humans came from an ape-like ancestor, none whatsoever. Okay, you can believe all you want, but it's not science. There's a book on that one. What books do we sell about the Neanderthals? About the brown, got a brown cover. I forget the name of it now. It's in here somewhere. Bones of Contention. We got that one, right? Don't we?
Yeah, we sell it.
We sell it. Bones of Contention just go on our website. That one covers all the so-called cavemen they've discovered so far. People say, do you believe in cavemen? Osama bin Laden lived in a cave for a long time until they finally found it. People today living in caves. I slept in caves a couple times. Okay. The guy who said he found a lake under the ocean and couldn't go inside, but was it the Great Deep? Not familiar with that story, but there are many articles in the last 5 years about them finding water in the crust of the earth, maybe even 10 oceans worth of water in the crust of the earth. Just Google that. Is there water in the crust of the earth still today? Lots of it. Some locked in molecules and some locked in big underground chambers. When Jacques Cousteau went down to the bottom of the ocean, they now claim there are over 10 million hot water vents squirting up into the bottom, geothermal vents. Well, hello, if there's water squirting up into the bottom of the ocean, where does it have to be coming from? Down lower than that. Duh. I think Walt Brown's hydroplate theory is fabulous. Is that video? You just type in Walt Brown hydroplate theory. Excellent. Walt Brown hydroplate theory. Hydro meaning water, plate. Just Google it. Watch that video. Excellent. By the way, if you do animations, call Joseph. We wanted to use that and plus add the whole canopy idea in there and the Ice Age and the continental shelf. We want to do a long animation. If you're good at that, see Joseph. It'd take about 400 years for one person to do it, wouldn't it?
Take a while.
Yeah, okay. What did you do for the moon pool on your scale ark? We built 2 moon pools in ours. We believe Noah's Ark probably had 5. A moon pool is a hole in the floor with walls built up inside. When the boat goes over a wave, the water goes up and down in those holes, and it acts like big pistons, pumping air in and out, air conditioning, plus fresh air. Plus, a long ship going over a wave tends to stress and bend in the middle. But if you got moon pools, it relieves that stress. So come see our Noah's Ark. Ours is 172 feet long. Are the dinosaur bones real or fake? Well, it depends which museum you go to. There are real dinosaur bones, like millions have been found, okay? Sometimes they make copies to put in museums. So it'd be fake, but dinosaurs really did live. They really got huge, and they fit perfectly well into the Bible. Everything lived longer before the flood came, and reptiles never stopped growing, so they'd grow to be 70 or 80 feet long. They found an 80-foot Apatosaurus one time. I got the article on my video number 3. I show the reference for it. 80-foot long. Apatosaurus had longer back legs. Brachiosaur had longer front legs. You know, this one's jacked up in the back. This is jacked up in the front. I don't know, Corvette. But the 80-foot Apatosaurus had nostrils the same size as a horse and had small lungs. What does that mean? They must have had different air pressure and different oxygen concentration, or both. I think both. I cover that video number 2 and 3. Okay? So yes. Dinosaur bones, certainly they find. I just got a picture today somebody sent me of, there's a hillside somewhere. It's a museum they made out of it where there's, I forget how many hundreds of thousands of dinosaur bones in this one huge hillside someplace. I'll get that picture.
What's your favorite time in history?
Favorite time in history?
Yeah.
Tomorrow. I can't wait for it. I don't remember yesterday, so St. Mickey. St. Mickey, they're retarded. Oh, you can't. God bless. I was asked a question the other day by a friend about Peter's role in heaven. I was stumped, have not dived into it. Peter doesn't have a role in heaven. He's not the gatekeeper, letting decide if people come in or not. That's somebody made up that story. Peter's up there rejoicing like everybody else. He's another one of the saints. He's not the one who decides if you get to go. Jesus decided that.
Your thoughts on the Ethiopian Bible?
Ethiopian Bible, if I recall, is from the Alexandrian manuscript. Ethiopia and Africa, you know. Go to avpublications.com, authorized version, avpublications.com, and ask the folks there. That's their expertise on all the different Bible versions. It is, it's from a really old manuscript, but I cover on my video 7. Older does not mean better. I've got a Jehovah's Witness Bible sitting over there that I've had for 30, 40 some years. It will never get worn out. My Bibles get worn out. You know why? Because I use them. Yeah. So older does not mean better. It means it didn't get used. That's all.
We have somebody new. You want to check it out?
Sure. Christopher, yes, sir.
Yeah, Ken, how's it going?
Man, I'm getting old slowly.
I was able to submit my question earlier, but don't know if it got answered because I had to get busy with something else.
Okay.
Were you able to answer the question about the organs?
The organ? What? No.
Yeah. So my question is, I've heard you say a few times that they used to have a list of 180 vestigial organs.
Okay. Yeah.
But there's only like half that many organs in the body. Why would there be a list that big?
Oh, they had all kinds of little things like the nictitating membrane right in the corner of your eye, the different color of the fingernail. If you go to icr.org, Institute for Creation Research, they have, I think, on their website, the list of all back in the I'm going to guess 1830s or 40s, all the things they thought your body doesn't need. Sometimes just little bitty things, the appendix, the tailbone, the tonsils, adenoids, goes on and on and on. So they've got that list on their website. But the doctors, it wasn't that we didn't need it; it's they didn't know what it did.
Right. I know. Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah. And then my other quick question is, I think I've heard you mention this a few times, and I'm not sure if you had an answer on this before, but have you kind of thought a little bit more about maybe what the marine life and the fish ate during the original creation before death?
Yeah, it appears to me like marine life, fish, etc., are not counted in the all vegetation. Though a lot of fish today live on pure vegetation. There's grass-eating carp and stuff like that. Maybe they were all a fish too, vegetarian. I can't prove that. The sharp teeth does not mean meat eater. Panda bears have sharp teeth, and they live on bamboo. But no, I don't know that there's any way to prove it either way. God said everything, all flesh on earth, on land, was eating, all the animals on land were eating plants, fruit, vegetables, and seeds. But I don't think it just doesn't mention the fish.
I got you.
Okay.
All right. That's all I had. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Come visit Dinosaur Adventureland.
Okay.
Any more there, brother?
We can keep going with questions if you want. Don't ever stop.
One more question.
How would you explain using geology to calculate the age of the Earth?
Hang on, I couldn't hear you. I had my headphones on. How do I explain what about the age of the Earth?
How would you explain using geology how to calculate the age of the Earth?
Geology?
Yeah.
I think all of the layers that we see were formed in 1 year in Noah's flood. It's meaningless to try to tell the age of the Earth by the layers. They're all formed at the same time, just by the tide, called tidal pumping. The moon pulling, I don't want to take that moon off because it takes 4 hours to get back on, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's just on the other corner.
My other one, I got to reach way over. I got to get up for that. Never mind. Okay. The moon pulls the water up and down on the earth every 6 hours, 25 minutes. But when it pulls the water up, it has to rush into the bump. When it goes down, it has to rush out. So it's a sideways movement of trillions of tons of water that made all the layers to the earth in 1 year. Where's my little, I know, but this right here. You can buy these at Walmart. You flip them over and it makes 10 or 15 or 20 layers in minutes. It doesn't take millions of years. All the layers we see today are the same age, and they were all formed by the tidal pumping. The water going up and down makes it go back and forth. Google experiments in stratification. Watch that video in Colorado Springs, the university there. Some guy with a French name about this big, I forget what it was now, but he did a great video 30 years ago. The layers all form sideways at the same time. They're prograding downstream. So Noah's flood is the only logical explanation for all the layers of the earth. There is no such thing as a geologic column. I know that angers you atheists, and that's what you were taught all your life. Start over. You got brainwashed. That's it. Okay. See you tomorrow night. Same thing, Q&A. Call in. Get your questions ready. We believe the Bible is true and evolution is stupid. We believe you're going to die one day. So am I. I'm going to make it the last thing I do, but it's going to happen. Then what? You ready to face the Creator? You say there is no Creator. Are you sure? You really sure? You'll find out. Okay, see you. Bye.